Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jared. This is my YouTube channel. I'm a physical therapist assistant. I've been a PTA for about 8 years now. I've worked in several settings. I've been in outpatient, skilled nursing, home health, and I've actually also been a traveler. So I've put out 4 videos on my YouTube channel just going over my current day-to-day things that I've been experiencing as now a home health PTA and how much I love being a home health PTA. And so I'm just going to go over some of my questions that I've received on my YouTube channel and see if it helps anybody that is looking into being a PTA, or this could even go for occupational therapy, or a PT or an OT, if they're in home health, and some of these things we do kind of overlap. Basically, let me give you a little backdrop here really quick before I get into these questions. Me and my family were doing travel physical therapy in California right before the pandemic. We ended our last contract. We were traveling for 2.5 years, and we came back January 2020 back to my hometown in Florida, trying to find a job. There was new changes to Medicare. I didn't want to go back into skilled nursing, so I was kind of holding out for home health. And pandemic hit. Took a while to find a job, so it was really hard. So there's no full-time jobs available, and the ones that were available were very hard to get into. So I started just collecting PRN gigs, and it's been 1.5 years now or something like that, and I have 4 PRN positions that are keeping me really full. And I'm basically seeing, last week I saw 40 patients. I'm basically averaging between 35 to 42 patients that I see, or I should say visits. So visits, that's key because you get paid per visit. And that's what creates my day. So about like 7 to 9 patients is what I see in a day. And I'm just okay with PRN because my rate's pretty good. So let's get into the first question here. We got Melissa Joy. Is it true that you get paid the same whether you do 50 patients? I'm thinking you're saying 50 patients. Or 5 PTS, 50 patients. I've heard that's how it is in the I think it's important that we get paid for our abilities and talents, not flat rate. I agree. No, I mean, I get paid if I see 50 patients a week, which I haven't, but no, I get paid per visit. So in my setup PRN, I'm not full-time. I don't have a outpatient. I haven't been in outpatient in such a long time. I don't know what they're doing right now, and I get paid per visit. Do you need to work inpatient or outpatient for a year before doing home health? You don't have to, but some positions might require it, some won't. It just depends on the demand for a clinician in your area. Here where I'm at, there's so many physical therapists, PTAs, there's a lot of healthcare. So if you have a good resume with all this history of inpatient work, I mean, you're going to be more considered for the job. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, you probably could get the job, but it gives you more confidence too, going into homes. If you've had an inpatient experience, I worked in skilled rehab for about 3 years or so. I forget, something like that. And gaining that experience working alongside a lot of good PTs and what you do during this situation and just all the complexities that come in with dealing with a patient and their family and different issues. I learned a lot. I don't know how I would do it right after school, going in all by myself and dealing with some of these issues, because you can get overwhelmed pretty quickly. So I don't want to take too much time on this video. I want to go through these questions. So it comes from Eric. Hey, anyway, can you show us your routine with paperwork and the most efficient way to handle it? Paperwork, documentation is a big thing. Home health, well, in anything, in any part of healthcare, it's big. I've gotten a lot of experience out in California doing traveling, so I was trained on a lot of different systems. So I'm with 4 different agencies. We use Kinzer, Home Care, Home Base. We did Therapy Boss, the one company got rid of that. So right now it's just those 2 that my 4 companies are using. But different accounts I log into, different tablets. I put in my time, I put in my vitals, I'll go through some things. I mean, it just depends what system you have. I try to sit down, I take vitals, and I sit down and document all that stuff and get the vitals in the computer and the subjective response. I try to write a little bit of an assessment too while I'm there in the home. And then when I get home, it's a lot of check boxes, a lot of stuff I can fly through without really thinking much, because I do that at night then, and I'm tired and I just want to get through my notes fast. So it's more of the routine stuff, checking in. I try to type out my assessment that takes more time. What actually happened, just 1 or 2 sentences. I try to keep it short. If you learn how to say what's the deficits of what's going on with the patient, I'm getting too detailed because it's very broad, but try to say what's wrong in a short way and say what you're doing to try to fix it, or how much progress he's making, or why he's not progressing. Keep it simple, don't overthink it. Whatever. Try to do as much as you can in the home. That can get overwhelming too. Documentation can get overwhelming. Next question, it comes from Diana. I'm debating on if I want to go to school for PTA or OTA. Any suggestions? Yeah, I mean, depends on what you want to do. Occupational therapy, you can get into, depending on the setting and where you're at. Like outpatient, you can specialize in hand therapy. I know some occupational therapists that are hand specialists. If you're in skilled nursing homes, usually they're working with the arms, and they'll go into the room and help someone do some dressing changes. There's accessories they can use for your putting on socks. They're usually working with like grabbers, different accessories you would use to perform your ADLs. I've seen them bake cookies sometimes when we're in the rehab centers, and I always like that when that happened, because then we would get to have some cookies. So it's activities of daily living. So if you're into that kind of thing, you're going to help with showers too a lot. So showers are a big deal. So in home health, you're working a lot with ordering in some shower benches or chairs, and you're working with transfers, like with commode transfers, and getting in and out of the shower. And you're going to be doing showers. So if you don't feel comfortable showering an older, Diana, yeah, you're a female. If you don't feel comfortable showering an older gentleman, maybe you'll want to do a PTA, where we work with gait, balance, and exercise, home safety, falls. All right, so next question. Amanda, let's say, thanks for sharing from a PTA perspective. How long are your sessions generally? And when you say you have 36 patients, would you say that is like doing 36-hour work week or more, like 40? I mean, yeah, that's a good way of saying it. I'll start with your last question there. 36-hour work week, so 36 patients. Yeah, so if you spend, and actually this is going to answer your first question. If I spend, let's say, 40 minutes with a patient, this all varies on what a patient needs. I may spend 30 minutes with a patient, or I may spend 50 minutes with a patient. It all depends on a lot of things, what a patient can tolerate and what I'm working on. Sometimes all I'm working with a patient is bed mobility. They're not going to be able to walk. They may not be able to, they may always need a transfer. They got a caregiver that's transferring them already, and they're already transferring. They just need to be able to sit up at the bed a little easier to help with the transfer for the caregiver. So maybe that's all you're working on is bed mobility. A laminectomy, you're not going to be doing any stretches, you're not going to be doing any exercises. Most of the surgeons I work with here in town, they don't want any exercises with their patients. Doesn't matter what kind of surgery they do. They just want walking, just gait training. So, and functional things like getting off from their chair, getting into out of bed. Usually they can do that, so walking is the best thing for them. But I got sidetracked again. Oh my goodness. 30. So I'm trying to think. So if I'm spending 40 minutes with a patient, let's say 10 minutes of paperwork after it took me 10 minutes to get there. Yeah, so about an hour. Yeah, so if I see 8 patients in a day, it might take me more than an 8-hour day. It might be 8:30 to 4:30 or something like that. But if you're full time with a company, normally they're going to tell you that you only have to see like 6 or 7 patients in a day as a PTA. Let's see, my time, I'm taking too long on these questions. I'm sorry. Thanks for the info. Do you work with an agency? And what's you found is your best approach to finding work here? Yeah, so I work with 4 agencies. Yep. I just look on, I just found all my work on Indeed.com. Okay, so Mike says, asks, if you're an independent contractor, 1099 doing home health, once you have business license, do you still need to obtain business permit? Thank you. So no, I mean, I'm a 1099 with my one company. I have my PTA license, I have my liability insurance, and then I have to keep up with all my CEUs and my CPR training. So I mean, no, I don't need a business permit because I'm doing home health. I'm working under an agency as an independent contractor. So no, I don't need a permit. That would be their responsibility. So Evans, JK, any chance you can talk about salary? I'm in Cali and some companies advertise 50 to 60 per hour, but do you usually work 40 hours or less on average? Yeah, I'm not sure what those companies are saying. I've seen those rates on certain Indeed advertisements, $50 to $60 per hour. It depends on, you just have to apply and talk to the company, because I've seen that before. That's a good rate, but I don't know. They may be saying, actually what the ad may be saying is 50 to 60 per visit. Yeah, I worked in California, so you do get paid more in California. Stephanie, can you tell us some equipment you keep in your bag, take with you into homes? Yeah, I can make a video on that. I try to keep it simple. I have a bag with my vital equipment, and I used to have some bands. I don't have bands. A box would be good, a step-up box, but when you say 36 patients, do you mean 36? Yeah, my one video I said 36 patients. This movie is still rolling. So did my first rotation home health company, and they were offering me $22 to $23 an hour. Is this good? That's not really good. That's really low. Is Thalys? No, that's not really good. I've heard that happening to some new grads, and so I'm not sure what to say about that. That seems pretty low, but. All right, that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching this video. Those are all the questions I'm going to cover now. I'm going to do some more videos in the future, and I love all the comments. I love interacting with other physical therapists and new grads or potential people coming into the PTA program or PTA field. And I just love interacting and seeing you guys here and talking and answering some questions and seeing if I can help. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much.